Hey everybody, this is a first video and a test video. So Yogi G is my name. How did I get that name? Well, G is for Garuda, and really it's Garuda Das, and that means the servant of this great bird who carries Vishnu. It's my spiritual name given by my guru. It's an old process. It's a very old process to get a new name like that. And so Das means servant. So the bird is an incarnation or expansion of God, just like one candle lights another. It has the same potency. So this bird is famous not just in India, but all throughout the region, all the way over to Japan. You know, there's a race of birds that are like this. They're giant eagles. I mean, this eagle is so powerful. This is the king of all those eagles. Anyway, and birds are symbolic of messengers, and so I always try to carry the highest message. Now, in the Native American totems, you know, eagle, it depends who you talk to, stands for like the pinnacle or the highest. So the way I take that is that we go through life gathering the highest wisdom, the highest knowledge that we can, and not only that, but we try to own it in our heart by digesting it. We digest it down into our heart, not just up here, by trying to give that highest truth to others. I'm out in the woods, deep in the forest. There's a swamp and a creek nearby, and it was in '90 that I moved out here and lived in a teepee for a year. I'm in a different set of these woods, but it's very close to where I was originally. You notice a big difference when you go into a town, into the city. The air here is really dense, very thick, because of all the foliage. I've spent most of my life in the woods or living near the forest, out on farms and things like that, and it's really important to get out and breathe. So I'm going around the random thing because this is a test video. So I'm going to upload this now, and yeah, oh, how I got the title Yogi, that's funny. I've been given about 9 names, and I've got other titles that were given to me as well. In the tradition of Africa, by the elders, but this actually titles are very flexible. Even your spiritual name is flexible. One of my best spiritual teachers teaches that if you actually go through a spiritual rebirth and you want to give yourself a name, then you can choose. So you can be Running Deer, or you can be a Sanskrit name like Anandamaya or something, you know. You can give yourself the name. It doesn't mean you can't find a guru later. The point of there's 3 kinds of gurus. I better explain this because most people think it's very cultish or something. There's Vardhama Pradakshina guru, which is Pradakshina like the feet. You're walking on the path. So someone who introduces you to the spiritual path, they take a little considerable time just to like show you there is a spiritual path, get on there, and then they don't have any attachment. And everyone's can be that type of guru. That's the first kind of guru. Like I said earlier, you digest what you know by giving it to others, and that's the first kind of guru. Anyway, the second kind of guru is the Shiksha guru, and the Shiksha guru is an instructing person. So when you mature, when you've read a few scriptures, you do seek out wise people for instruction, and to dispel your doubts and to help you advance in spiritual consciousness. And they're really good at that. It's like going to a PhD so you can work on your bachelor's. You really have to go the right channels. They're a lot older, you're young, so they're going to see you early on down the path. And one of the main thing about shiksha or instruction is to avoid pitfalls. You know, if you go to a piano master, they're going to see early on if you're holding your form right. Maybe your pinky is up or something, and that means, you know, you're going to have, the teacher, the master knows later on you're going to have a problem trying to play some of the more difficult concertos or something, you know, if you keep that bad habit up. And so they get all your speculation. Spiritually, you've got to get rid of speculation. That's one of the worst bad habits, like creating a philosophy to make up for your own shortcomings, etc. So, you know, you got to dispel these things. You really do. Anyway, so the highest or the last type of guru is called the Diksha Guru. The Diksha Guru is here's the way I describe it, because I've had a lot of Shiksha Gurus, and I've met a lot of Vartama Pradakshina Gurus, and the Diksha Guru is your initiating spiritual master. It gives you your name. This is for those who are real serious on the path. You observe, if you've listened to a lot, after you've read scriptures, after you listen to a lot of gurus, the Lord in your heart, who is the Chaitra Guru, that's another type of guru, but we'll get to that some other time. The third type of guru, the way I see it is, they're like, when you hear them teach, they're like, their voice is the combined essence, or you hear all the other voices that you got shiksha from, instruction from, in this other person. So they're the representative of the Lord for you. And, that's a hard, thankless task to be that kind of guru. And the way I think of it is, you got to be willing and show over many years that you're willing to suffer to uplift others, and to be outside of yourself the most, and to take instruction humbly, to go through scriptures like over and over, not just the first time, and to not want to be in the spotlight. There's sort of like these rubber stamped gurus, these people that hold the profile. They know how to dress like a spiritual master, and they hold that profile for a very long time. But you can tell, like, when you're formulaic, you're not as ecstatic. There's a difference between those two. And then you got to make sure, well, where's the pure soul? How can I actually say this person's my spiritual master? Because, we rarely meet pure souls in this world. Maybe the last one was 2,000 years ago when Jesus showed up. We have those type of thoughts. And, when you hear about the life and times of someone such as Jesus, that you are, you got a pretty high standard, and you should have a high standard. So there's unalloyed pure souls, which is like Jesus, Mother Teresa, and other saints, Buddhist saints, Native American saints. There's some unalloyed pure souls out there. But then there's another kind of pure soul, and that is within the second kind of pure soul, is within the grasp and the reach of all of us, and that would be someone who has pure intentions. Pure intentions are, it's like being, I call it the 4 H's. You come across these souls, and they don't even have to be religious. They don't even have to be so-called spiritual. That they're humble, happy, helpful, and honest. Hearing a dishonest word, a slightly it even that unsettles them, because if they know that's what that is, it's like watching a movie with some duality, and someone's creating some illusion or stealing. That will even turn the stomach of a person who has the 4 H's: humble, happy, helpful, honest. That's just my interpretation and the way I've taught it to the people that I have spoken to. And if you have something to speak and the ability to be people's friends, you're going to be able to speak to a lot of people. The Lord arranges that. The Great Spirit, Krishna, Jehovah, arranges so that you will be like that eagle who can see above everything and distribute the knowledge. And see, that's the part that's pure, is the knowledge you're distributing. And if you're doing it with a humble heart, humble and a happy heart, see, you're befriending everybody, humble, happy, helpful, you're not just sitting back and pretending. You're doing a lot for a lot of people until you're just your bones are broken and tired. So humble, happy, and serving God, helpful and honest. Because we live in a world where there's a lot of people who carry dualities, the honest person has to avoid bad association, so that they don't have to encounter as many dualities, so that they can be that straightforward, honest person. So generally, a soul with pure intentions also, they like to spend a good amount of time in their wonderful connection in meditation with the divine. And that's how you know you have a high quality, just personally. You don't judge other people where they are on their spiritual path, where their meditation is. Just yourself. So you got to have that high quality person-to-person time with the divine. And that's how you know Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he's one of the, if not the greatest proponent of bringing Vedic wisdom to the West. He did do more than all the other swamis and gurus put together. He arrived on the shores of America on a freighter with like $6 in his pocket and a box of books. He didn't know anybody, and in the next 11 years of his life, Time magazine said he did more than Mahatma Gandhi did in his last years. So he accomplished a lot, but he always was scrubbing pots, working, helpful. He was being helpful. He was washing the floors, plus he was leading a spiritual society. You know, he didn't think any service he could do was too low. And that's why so many people in the 60s, the hippies and whatnot, were able to actually work with this guy, because he inspired them that way. And in fact, a hippie told me that once. Like, that's why, you know, his teachings and the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, is still resonating so resoundingly. Anyway, I'm throwing this up there. Everything revolution starts with a spiritual intent, I think. And for those who are not spiritual and atheistic or non-theistic, that's great too, because you can come forward with humble, happy, helpful, and honest, and everyone likes that kind of person. Humble, happy, helpful, honest, whether you're theistic or not. And I would gladly sing Flying Spaghetti Monster with an atheist if they wouldn't want to support, you know, what I sing in my bhajans